they do it. And that is mostly our problem, Christians. We just like to find an easy way out instead of a solution, a permanent solution. And why is it hard to pray? Just pray. صلي صلوتها برجلة. كل من يبارك صلي صلوتها. All right. Okay. Now we should know that love is more powerful than sin. So هدية مشيخة مغزيلة خبة إلى مش خيلانة من خطيتها. خبة مشيخة, Jesus showed us that love is bigger than sin, is greater than sin. Iman have a khubba yeah, when we talked about love before this, you remember? Love is it heals everything around us. It answers every question. Love. If you don't do things with love, don't do it. If you don't have love for that person, don't do it. Don't do it and then talk behind them. It was better for you not to start with it. يعني بص بايلا إن عاد أود خاص بايوتا كخناشة أوتلا بتخبة إن لا أوتلا لا ودلا بص بايلا سب ما يديوان الجامع. Right? إن أنا واد خمدني سباي يركض إنه بتخبة. إن لا أود بخبة لا أود إنه بص بايلا مو شوريا بيه. إن أنا بدي خمدني سباي كده إنه وخرت بربلت لانهم زملي باسو. أنا لا بدي سباي تمويلي ديوان الجامع. So if I do something good for a person, but then when they leave, I start talk about them behind them, then I have not done anything. I should have not even started. Now it's even worse because I've done it and I talked about it. And I talked bad about the person. Because it wasn't through the love. I didn't do it because I love that person. No? Because if you love that person, why would you talk about it? No? So, 1 John 4 through 6. You can read now. Okay, Surah, English, French. You know a lot of languages. We don't know.
Okay. Afternoon, Yalade, من Allahhetun. Glublofon, Zababhau, Dile Gawofon, Bush Gorele, Menhau, Dile Gaw Alma. Anne, Ani, Min Alma, Na. But Aha, Min Diane, Alma, Ke Ham Zimni. O Alma, Ke Sham Ele. أخنان من الله هو وهاو ديار الألحة كشمة إلا هاو ليلة من ألحة لشمة إلا بأها كهردش روخة شرارة من روخة خلطة.
بس ما يعني. Very good. Somebody read it in English. قرأت سيبي. قرأت مكسبور مزايا. ما قرأت لا. كله.
Overcome them because you is greater than who is in the world. But they are of the world. Therefore they speak us of the Lord, and the Lord hears them. 6 weeks of God, He will, those God hurts. To whose not of God does not hear. As like as we know, the spirit of the truth and the spirit of error.
بس ما يعني. Bravo spy. So, you guys watch this? It's always about us and them. Us and them. كل من دي لباسل آني وأخنا. آني وأخنا. This is all what it is. There were 2 people on the cross. Us and them. Us and them. Us and them. Always. أخنا وآني. أخنا وآني. أخنا وآني. Jesus came to split us apart. Jesus came to split us apart. شي ختيلة قد بليوانا نبلد. شاوقوا على اليمين وشاوقوا على الشمال. That's all. Bible is very simple. It's very easy. It's always about us and them. We have the spirit of the truth and they have the spirit of evil. That's it. Jesus came to split us. He split the good seed from the bad seed. And we were done. See? It's always about us and them. The spirit of the truth and the spirit of Satan. And Jesus said, I have to split you, you cannot be together. Why? Because they're in love with the world, and only the world will understand them. And they will not understand you. Achnochon. There is people in this world you won't understand. Don't you shake your head sometimes at people and say, what is wrong with people in this world? Do they live in the same world I live in? Do they see the same thing I see? Do they eat the same thing I eat? Really? Honestly. I mean, sometimes I go blank because I don't believe what's happening in this world. I mean, you go on your Facebook and you see two people fighting and people are holding their cameras on them. They're fighting. And all what you do is you hold the camera on them, really? And you enjoy the scene? Is that what Father Abraham would have done? Is that what Jesus would have done? Is that what the apostles would have done? Really? You take a video, that's the best you can do? Why? What's wrong with this world? Huh? بس نقول برزوزة. You're right. Actually, this is the world. This is the world's fate. That's it. This is who they are. أي إلى هيمانوت عالمة جو دنيا أدخل. That's it. ليه واصل؟ ما نمشي أنا ليه من دوا عالمة. عالمة ليه قابلني. Jesus said, I am not from this world, and the world will not accept me. So trust me, when you are among these people, they won't accept you. Don't feel bad. Feel great about yourself. Because they have not reached your level yet. They don't know where you come from. You come from the spirit of the truth. See? So itnashi le qablelu. Itnashi le bayelu. Don't worry about it. Mshicha itu ala raba dijmene. La takhmene khashwat kullu bayewale. No. He had people that hated Jesus. Okay? Until today. To No. So Hamasha Ila between us and them. Us and them. And you see, that is why they don't have this. But you do. See? Because Jesus walked on the water, right? Jesus walked on the water. Not to show himself that he is God. No. Because he said, I defeated the world. Water is the world. Every time you read about water in the Bible, it's the world. And Jesus defeated the world. He walked on the water. But Peter said, you know what? I want to do the same thing. I want to walk with you. But what happened to Peter? He fell into the water. He fell into the water. Come on. Because he took his eyes from Jesus Christ. What happened? In this world, when you have fears, you have to keep your eyes on Jesus, not on the fear. Jesus is bigger than your fear. Jesus is bigger than your obstacle. Jesus is bigger than your trial, whatever is coming at you.
Does it know love? Can it disguise itself like love of God?
Then that won't be God's love. That will be a deception, a love of deception. So Satan does not know God's love, but he knows the love of deception. Because this world will love you the same love. But that's why Jesus said, love like the way I loved you. Don't love like the world will love you. Love the way I loved you. La Baba? So if the world had the same love, then we wouldn't bother, right? Will be the same love colliding, which is great.
Yeah.
But it's completely different aspect of love. It's a different way of looking at things. It's worldly love. It only lasts as much as your material lasts. That love. But our love is eternal.
So then we can say, come join you.
Yes.
Okay, we can say that he knew that he was powerful, but he doesn't know how powerful. He's much more powerful than Sultana thinks he is.
Who is more powerful, you saying?
Jesus, God.
Of course. Well, there is few things that you gotta ask yourself about that, because first of all, he says, if you are son of God. Because when he was looking at Jesus, he couldn't recognize him at all. He was questioning himself. Is this really son of God? Look what happened to him. And if you are, prove to me. And Jesus didn't want to prove to him except one way. But it's written. 3 times said to him, but it's written. And then don't forget, he said, a man shall not live by bread alone, but from every word that comes from my Father's mouth. So what happened? So that proved to him that he was the Son of God. And then he said, okay, then if that is true, now prove to me. Prove to me. Throw yourself from up here. And then he said, you know what? Why don't you worship me and I'll give you all these kingdoms in the world because they're mine and I'll give them to whom I'm pleased with. Huh? So So that is why his love is materialistic. His love is material. It's all about material. It's never a pure love. It's not unconditional love. Satan will give you everything you want, but there's a condition. Okay? He can pull that rope anytime he wants. That's the condition. He will cut that rope anytime he wants. That's the condition. The rope is in my hand. I cut it whenever I want to. Deal is done. You know, with God, there's no condition. It's unconditional love. Come to me as a bigger sinner, as a small sin. Doesn't matter, sin is a sin. Just come to me and I will purify you. Satan, no, he says, come to me and I will give you all the pleasure of the earth. Right? And that is what people go after. And that is the wide road and that's the narrow road. And that is why when people were living in the wilderness, some of them died because they were always thinking about wilderness. They were never thinking about their home, about the destiny home, that they were going to make a home. They were going to come to promised land. So that's why, as a Christian, you have to think, am I living in a wilderness or am I living for my home with Jesus? See? It's the same thing. We are living in a wilderness now. Some of us are dying because snakes are biting us. Some of us are dying because of all these things that are happening in this wilderness because we're walking away from God. Ina, the question is, are you thinking about the promised land or are you still thinking about the wilderness? Unfortunately, most of us are thinking about this earth, this wilderness. Nobody is thinking about the promised land. هيتشغل ليلة تخمونة بس تقرعت قولة وضايتني وجبرية ليه تخمونة بس قرعت قولة كراسيانة ديولان تخمونة بس قرعت قولة تيلا قشمية قديا تخمونة نهلا الديا عمودي بتاعك قالوا. What do I have on this earth? What's going to happen for me? What is there for me in it? See? And that is why we are in a wilderness, but because we have that relationship with Jesus Christ, we have nothing to do with this wilderness. We don't even care about it. All what we want is the promised land. And that's what Abraham was looking for. That's why he built only one tent for himself. He had the whole land. God said, all this is for you, Abraham. And he was the richest man that day on earth. He only built one tent. And when his son got married, he brought his wife in the same tent. He could have built 1 million tents. Today you need 110 just for your shoes. Unfortunately. There you go. So it's always about us and them, and that is why love will always defeat sin, because they are in love with sin, but we are in love with God. And that is the unconditional love that God showed us and loved us for. Okay, so God is pleased with the prayers of those Christians who are in peace with their who? Fellow brothers and sisters. God is pleased with those people. Are we? Is God pleased with us? No. Are we praying for our brothers and sisters? Yes. We are? Yes. My baby. Okay, so let's go to James 5:15 through 20. James 5:15 through 20. God is pleased with our prayers, right? As Christians. Is he? Maryam nakhay khanna basim taraba. So let's go to James. Yaqub. Male punto. Bakit?
You have faith when you pray for sick people, they will get well. The Lord will heal them, and if they have sinned, He will forgive them. If you have sinned, you should tell each other what you have done. Then you can pray for one another and be healed. The prayer of an innocent person is powerful, and it can help a lot. Elijah was just as human as we are, and for 3.5 years his prayers kept the rain from falling. But when he did pray for rain, it fell from the skies and made the crops grow. My friends, if any followers have wandered away from the truth, you should try to lead them back. If you turn sinners from the wrong way, you will save them from death, and many of their sins will be forgiven.
What does that tell us, guys? خلنا نقارن بسورة قالن باقي الباتي.
صوتة حيمانوتة بتبسمل حول ديدة مريا ومارا بتمقتملة انخطيلة بتفائش بخلة بس
موديمون
خطياتوخن خاود هوخينا وصاليمون خابت هوخينا بيجيتن بسمة صوتة صديقة رابا خلنتلا كي أودا رابا إيليا برناشة وهر أغتية صليلة قلتها لاريا ومطرة ولاري لمطرة الأرقى قاطلاشنة وشتيرخة مدر صليلة وشمية يولا مطرة وأرقى يولا عنتو أخنواتي الناشا من نوخن خالد خاخينا مضرة دينون هاو مطر الخاخ خطايا من أرخ خلطة بتفارق لجانة من موتها وبتمكس وشايوتها خطياتها.
Very well. Well said. I want you to pay attention to this last thing. That if you pray for someone and you can save them from a sin, what are you doing? You're saving them, right? Is that what it says? We're saving them, right? We're just praying for them and we're saving them. Do you know this plays a big role in Christians' lives? Because by saving that one person, you're saving 1 million. At least. Guess why? Because if that sinner stayed in that sin, how many more he's going to bring with him to commit the same sin? Imagine when you save someone from a sin. Don't think only about him or her. Don't think about only that person. That person could have brought so many into the same sin. Could have caused so many people their life. Could have caused so many people their agony. See? So when you save one, don't say, I haven't done enough. No. Because it's a snowball that you don't see.